What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to some Ask Papa Swolio. It's your boy, Papa Swolio. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure to drop your question in the comments down below with the hashtag Ask Papa Swolio in order to be featured in an upcoming episode. And of course, subscribe for some more Extra Thirsty, more Red, White, and Swole, and the Daily Swole podcast right here on the channel. And if you want to learn more about the Swole fam and all of our programs, training, nutrition, everything, you could do it at home, you could do it anywhere, you could do it on your phone, you could do it on your TV, tablet, and everything that you need. Full programs, full yoga studio, meditation, so much more. SwoleNormousX.com, and all those links are in the description down below. This question today is from Lek is Cool. Lek is Cool. Lek is Cool. Lek is Cool. Lee Kiss Cool. Doesn't even matter. I love fucking around with the names. Okay, Papa Swolio, do you think that the, quote, healthy at every size is coming from a place of privilege? As someone with genetic medical conditions, I am always trying to get people to understand that once you start losing your health, it's hard or near impossible to get it back. As someone who struggles to just feel okay some days, I don't understand why people advocate for making themselves high risk for conditions I was born with. Very interesting perspective. And I always wondered this. And this is kind of like, when you say healthy at every size, this also reminds me of what I usually say about body positive. So just to go over it again to make sure I've read everything correctly, the person asking the question, Lek is Cool, as someone has genetic conditions, and she is trying to get people to understand that when you start to become more sick, it's hard to get it back. Once you start damaging yourself, it's hard to make a comeback. And I would agree. I mean, obviously, you're putting yourself in a more difficult position. You're setting yourself back rather than obviously advancing forward. You're starting to harm your health. It's going to be hard to regain your health to the level that you had it before. So, Like is Cool struggles to feel good and doesn't understand why some people advocate for making themselves higher risk, like being fat positive, and promote obesity, promote binge eating and stuff like that. Well, in terms of privilege, I think I want to clarify that word, because obviously that word is tarnished. And a lot of people are going to start thinking it's like a racial thing. So I think it's entitlement, but I think it's perspective. When you say privilege, I think it's also perspective. It's very similar in probably how you mean it, but I wanted to get away from the word privilege because it has other connotations currently. When you are a person, an individual that never really had a lot of struggle in their life, or you're someone that's dealt with a lot and don't see any way out, and you come across this movement that is health at every size, fat acceptance, body positivity, hijacked, because I talk about body positivity. It's supposed to be for someone who maybe is handicapped or handicapable, however you want to see it. But you know what I'm saying? Someone that maybe has some sort of missing limb, or someone that deals with some sort of inherited disease, or someone that is a burn victim, someone that was dealt a shitty hand and has severe challenges to overcome, and they can't change it. When you're obese, you can change that. You can make moves to make that better. A lot of what people are suffering from today is self-inflicted, which is what Like is Cool is mentioning here. Doesn't understand why people advocate for making themselves high risk. Yeah, if you're part of the fat acceptance movement, you're promoting that type of lack of health and that level of disease and lack of self-care. What are you doing? You're putting yourself at high risk for heart disease, at high risk for diabetes. You're just putting yourself at high risk. So anyone who's an advocate for that will use the angle that, well, I don't have diabetes. Well, I'm not sick. Well, I can walk. Well, I don't have... Maybe not yet, and not everyone has the same genetic predisposition for those things. Doesn't mean you can't acquire it, but if you have certain genes, it's going to make you more predisposed. It doesn't mean that you can't get it. And it doesn't mean that if you just don't have type 2 diabetes, you still can't move well. There is not one person who is obese that can move well, or as well as they could move. And trust me, as you start losing bone density and muscle mass later in life, as naturally you will lose whatever you don't try to maintain, and you can't maintain indefinitely. Your body starts just breaking down. It's called aging. And there are many scientists that are trying to work on reversing this and slowing down the process of aging. And they're doing it and they're getting better at it, but you still have the responsibility to take care the best you can. You can't just reverse everything. And that's what Lekka's Cool is saying. Once you start losing your health, it's hard or near impossible to get it back. It's very important to understand. And a lot of people just throw it out. They want to just have that instant gratification. So, hey, I'll just be healthier later. Oh, well, technology is going. I'll just get a liver transplant later. I'll get this. It's not that fucking simple. There's waiting lists, and it's not, the science isn't 100% with all these things. It's not guaranteed that you'll just be fine. You can't just fix everything. People watch too many sci-fi movies. We're not there yet. We're not there to the ability where you can just fix everything cost effective for everyone. And take care of yourself. Do the best that you can. Strive for better. You can do better. Block your fucking eye holes and ear holes out to the noise. There's a lot of fucking noise. There's a lot of bullshit in the world. And these movements that are promoting disease, that are promoting obesity, that's what they're doing. That's what fat acceptance is doing. They're promoting obesity. And they talk bad about diets. They pick a fight against something that doesn't work. It's a false enemy anyway. Dieting is a false enemy. That's not the real enemy. They're like, oh, diet culture, diet culture. Well, fuck that. Stop pushing back on that. That's not the issue. The issue is people that don't understand that there's so much food that has no part of diet culture. It's not diet culture, just food quality. People need to understand what food quality is for them. You know what I'm saying? Like the argument that people are making that are part of fat acceptance, they're arguing against the wrong thing. They're pushing back against diet culture. Well, that's fucking wrong too. Just telling someone to eat Weight Watchers, that's not a great alternative. We need proper education. But those people just, rather than change, maybe they got bullied a lot and it's easier to find a tribe and find people that want to play the victim. A lot of people don't want to change, or they don't want to take responsibility and understand that it's not a good look. They change and now they're trying to leverage their sensitivities. And in today's climate, they get traction from it because people are very afraid of hurting someone's feelings. It's a generation of being sheltered and coddled. That's what it is. And we're starting to see it because all those coddled children are now adults or young adults, and you're seeing it. You're seeing people that like to tattle on each other. No, he did it. He was mean to me. He was mean to me. People advocate for a lot of dumb shit. But the problem is when they're advocating to justify, they're advocating to other people. They're sending out a terrible message to the world in order to justify their own shortcomings or their own lack of action or their own resilience. And that's terrible. So, I mean, it's coming from a place of healthy at every size. People are so fat because we have way too much access to junk food. And this generation just hasn't been raised well to be anti-fragile. And there's some great books out there. You can look it up. There's a great books on anti-fragility and learning how to adapt. And that's really what you learn in the gym and what you learn in the military, what you learn with sport and competition. You learn the benefits of trial and error, of failure. You win some, you lose some. You have great workouts, you have terrible workouts, you hit a new PR, you have a shitty workout, you get injured sometimes, you get banged up, you win a game, you lose a game, you have the game-winning shot, you miss the game-winning shot, you lose, but you have a great friendship or you support someone. You learn a lot. You learn a lot working as a team, working as a country, working as a society. It's breaking down because people just don't look at this. They're looking at this. This is the symptom. Okay. This is the symptom of the actual problem, which is how kids are being raised. It goes to the source. It always does. Just like the 7 pillars. It's always something simpler. Go to the basics, something else. time management, something else, meditation, your head. It's like, right? It's how you look at it. That's the difference. That's the difference between looking at your diet and counting macros, or looking to the foundation and looking to the food quality and how you actually look at food, and how you look at food in terms of how it fuels your body and how your body responds to the quality of the food. It's a fundamental philosophical shift in how you look at your nutrition. And when people would rather justify their failures and justify their lack of action, justify their challenges, rather than stepping up to face them, this is where you get these movements. And it's about protecting feelings rather than taking personal responsibility. So that's what I think. I think we have a lot of privilege as an entire country. We have a amazing access to so much food and so much abundance, and an abundance culture. This is one of the side effects. You have people that are trying to justify as if it's not a major fucking problem, but it is objectively a huge health crisis in this fucking country, and that's why I make the content in the manner in which I make it. So thank you so much for the question. I hope that answered your question, gave you some more context, and helped out a lot. And for those of you that want your question featured, drop your question in the comments down below with the hashtag AskPapaSwole to be featured in an upcoming episode. And what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on health at every size, fat acceptance, body positivity? How would you answer this question? What are your thoughts on my answer on the question itself? And yeah, when you do deal with these issues, when you deal with these conditions yourself, it gives you a different perspective. And it's important to understand that people deal with this shit of no choice of their own. And some people are voluntarily walking into the fray and pretending like it's a virtuous path. And some people struggle with this and just like don't understand why people are trashing themselves and trying to justify it. So I agree. What are your thoughts? Drop a comment down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for some more Ask Papa Swole. Peace out.
Swole fam, y'all better run this up. KD, let's go. Yeah. Aye, East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, you know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, you know we don't play guys, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, you know we don't play.